Shalom, family. Good to see everybody here. Hope you're all doing well. Well, we're going to talk about HBCU bands, and those bands are great. And a lot of people are now trying to profit off of HBCU bands. You'll see a lot of Europeans and Black UK men and women are now coming up with channels, and that's all they're doing is showing HBCU marching bands. All right. So, yes, they're trying to profit, but they're going a step further than that. You are now seeing white and Asian colleges and high schools copying all the moves of HBCU bands. Everything. You can tell they heavily studied and they are imitating everything they see them do in HBCU marching bands. Does it compare? No. When you watch them, and actually there's a clip of PWI on the bottom of the screen, and on top, the HBCU, they're playing the same exact song. Man, what a difference. And you're going to see they may try to copy us, but they really, truly can't match the full talent of HBCUs. All they can do is try to imitate the best that they can. And you'll see this when you watch their bands, even when you're looking at like the Asian drummers, they don't have that same smoke that the HBCU drummers have, you know, but they try to imitate it, but it's a lot more lackadaisical in comparison. But it is just amazing how we are told by so many immigrants we have no culture, but I'll be damned if they keep copying every single move we make. They copy everything, and they even try to get our details down. So it's we don't have no culture, but why are you copying people that don't have a culture? That's my question to all of you foreigners. Why are you always trying to copy people that have no culture? And the Africans are all over here, and they're trying to convince us to say that we're African. And you know why they're doing that, y'all? If you don't know why, let me explain why. They have seen our history and our legacy in this country. They want to be able to take credit. See, as long as we don't say we're Africans, then that keeps them from taking credit of all of our achievements. And that's what they really, truly want. They want credit for our achievements. So as long as we don't come out and say, yes, we are African, then they can't take credit because of the delineation that's going on. That keeps them from taking full credit for the things that we're doing. And that's what they want the most. They want that more than anything else, is to be able to steal our legacy and profit from it and try to take full credit for everything we did on this soil, although they were on a whole different continent when it all happened. See, I think what it is, what's getting all of them is after everything we have gone through, we can still stand up and talk with our whole chest. We can still make an impression. See, when we do things, it makes an impression worldwide. There are now people in high school bands worldwide that are copying HBCUs. They are not copying Africans. They're not copying dashikis. You don't see them marching around with dashikis on because they're not going to imitate you. You do not influence the world. You wish you could influence the world, but you don't. We influence the world. We influence the world with our innovations, our music, our talent, our sports, and everything. We are imitated in literally everything. We are the one group on the planet we can make the corniest thing look cool. And nobody can do that like we can. Period. So let me show you this video and you'll see exactly what I mean when I say they copy our every move. All right. Right. Let me share my screen. Okay. So the bands that you're going to see, y'all, are primarily white and Asian. And just watch the way they move and the way they do things. It's a complete ripoff from HBCU bands. Please give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Thank you.
The Chinese Jackson State University Marching Band drum majors.
They the Chinese on the moon. Y'all see that? Yeah, and some of them weren't even, if you looked at the vehicles that were passing by, that was the Philippines. They weren't even in the US. Some of these bands are not even in the US, and they're copying every single HBCU move that they can make. But the girls are kind of dry. They don't have the energy that those melanated women have, for the HBCUs. They don't have their dance energy. They're kind of dry, but you can see their major, their drum majors and everything. Even their drummers are kind of dry. They try to move around like HBCUs, but they don't have that same energy. It's an attempt in comparison. No, it's not the same. Yeah. I mean, one of the footage was from an Asian high school in North Carolina, and some of it was from overseas. But it just goes to show you how far reaching the things we do will just go completely around the world, and everybody wants to do it. Everybody wants to entertain their people with our moves and everything that we do. The problem is many of these people, especially the PWIs, they want to imitate it, but don't want to tell you where it came from. And that's why a lot of our people are not inclined to be showing them things like we used to in the past. Unfortunately, there are still some raccoons among us that still do, but a lot of us have stopped because they don't even want to say where they got things from, but they want to learn how to do it and then pretend like it came from them. That's why we don't be getting into showing them things anymore, not at the same levels that we used to in the past. That has changed dramatically. Mhm. Unbelievable, right? Y'all, listen, we are the salt of the earth. I don't care what anybody say. We are the salt of the earth. There is nobody on this planet trying to imitate these other groups that have negative things to say about us. Ain't nobody trying to imitate people from Africa. You don't see these folks out in the streets with no African garbs on marching around because nobody's trying to imitate no African. Ain't nobody trying to imitate these white folks either. You don't see nobody marching around trying to act like them. Ain't nobody trying to imitate any of these East Indians. You don't see nobody out here trying to imitate no damn East Indian. You know what I mean? There are a lot of groups. Nah, you are not worldwide and far reaching like that. Not like we are. Not like we are. Mm-mm. No, there are no Afro beats college bands. Okay. No, there are no college bands that are Afro beat. And number two, where are their colleges and universities? They claim to be so great and so wonderful and do everything better than us. At least that's what they claim. Where are your colleges and universities? Okay, where are they? Yeah, University of Akon. Okay, whatever. Didn't Akon said they had better presence than us on the stage? Yeah, we have yet to see it. Mm, ain't that something? But yeah, I just wanted to show y'all that because actually there's even more out there on TikTok because and I think that's the big reason why these Europeans and these people from all around the globe are now making whole channels out of HBCU bands. And they all seem to be non-American people that are cashing in. If you go out on YouTube, there's quite a few of them out on YouTube. And especially, you know, the Black Britons and all over. In fact, I looked at a channel last night and it was some Swedish people. Sweden. They were from Sweden. And they had a channel with all HBCU bands. And what they do is they play the clips of the bands and then critique it. That's what they do. And I saw a couple of them from the UK. Like I said, I saw the Swedish. I saw another channel, and I believe they were, I think, what country were they from? I think they were from Switzerland. And they had a channel and they were critiquing HBCU bands. And that's how they're making their money online, just playing HBCUs and critiquing the band and their formations and how precise they are, how nobody is making errors out on the field. They're just doing everything in perfect precision. So, yeah, so they're cashing in on that big time. Mhm. No, they ain't worried about no dancing queen. I know what you're talking about. They tried to make a big deal out of that forever now. Nah, it ain't no dancing queen stuff. No, it's HBCUs. Mhm. And you know, the Father, our Heavenly Father, took a lot of our talents away. And even in our lowest state, we're still outperforming these folks. We're outperforming every single group on earth, even in our lowest state. Just imagine when we get all of our talents back, we're going to be unstoppable, you know? And just think about it. Once these Gentiles go into captivity, they're not going to be in a position to be imitating us like they are now. They're not going to be able to do it because they're going to have their duties as handmaidens and servants. They're not going to have time to be trying to imitate everything we do and everything we say. They won't be able to do it then. How you doing, True Royal? So, yeah, I mean, it's amazing, isn't it? Trust me, y'all. We are powerful even in our low state. Never, ever forget that. These other groups, the reason why they come over here with all this disdain and predispositions about us is it's all jealousy. It's all jealousy. The world is not imitating any of them. The world is not imitating Mexico. The world is not imitating the Caribbean. The world is not imitating Africa. Okay? No, but they are imitating us. Never forget that, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and conclude. Thank you for being here. I have some more. I got a premiere that's going to be coming up in a few hours. So I hope all of you will be there. I will see you then. Shalom, family.